Thank you for joining us here this morning to hear about the Youth at Work Summer Youth Enrichment Program. Before we get started, I'd like for you to hear from our president, Dr. Charlene M. Dukes, who will bring you welcome and greetings.
Good morning. In many ways, I feel like I've already had the chance to welcome at least half of you in the room. It's a pleasure to be here this morning, and it's an absolute delight to welcome you all to Prince George's Community College. We believe that we ought to be, and rightly so, the first choice when you think about education in Prince George's County. We serve 44,000 students at 6 different locations around the county, and since our inception in 1958, we've had the opportunity to touch more than 750,000 lives here in Prince George's County. So we want to thank you for that. So you're here today in probably one of our newest renovated locations on campus, but with the support of Mr. Baker and his administration, the County Council, and the state of Maryland, we have some exciting things that are going to be happening over the course of the next 3 or 4 months. We're going to be renovating and quadrupling the space of our Queen Anne Performing Arts Center, and we'll also be offering new programs in the performing and visual arts. We'll be renovating Lanham Hall, about a 70,000 square foot facility, and adding an additional 20,000 square feet so that we can increase our partnerships with the Prince George's County Public Schools. You all know that we are the location of the first and only middle college high school in the state of Maryland, where students enter in the 9th grade as high school freshmen, and when they graduate 4 years later, they graduate in the morning with a high school diploma and in the evening with an associate degree. We had the opportunity to graduate our first class this past May. 92 students left us with an associate degree, and they took with them more than $11 million in scholarships to 140 different colleges and universities. So we believe that partnerships are critical in Prince George's County, and we couldn't do the work that we do here at the college without all of you, and certainly without our partners who are represented here, down here on the floor this morning. Today you're here to learn a lot about the Youth at Work program, and what we know is that economic development is key. And the way that we get there is to ensure that we have a qualified and ready workforce. And in many ways, it starts where you all are. I won't take you on a journey way back because it would be way back. But I remember my first job, and my first job was helping my brother deliver papers. So yes, they used to deliver papers. And we would get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. He had a paper route, and I was his helper. And I knew that that job would not work for me because he made $10 and he would give me 50 cents. And I'm thinking, there's something wrong with this equation. So I immediately quit working for him, so I resigned, and then I went to my next job as a young person and in my early teens. So I know how critical this is, because the skills that you'll receive by going through this program, and then what you will learn as you think about what your future is like and the opportunities that you have are tremendous. I do want to thank all of the young people and your parents, your family members for being here, because you recognize the importance of this. And again, we're happy to host you. We're happy to be a part of this partnership. And we're certainly happy for the vision that we get from our county executive and the members of our county council. So welcome, and I know you'll have a great morning.
Good morning. I'd like to introduce the man who doesn't need an introduction, our county executive, Mr. Baker.
Can we give Dr. Dukes another round of applause? I know she's got to run off. Isn't she doing a great job? I just wish the 3 young adults who sometimes occupy my house had been able to get in that program, so it saves parents money, the middle college. So let's give her another round of applause and thank her for hosting us. This is interesting. That we're excited. I hope you are. Are you excited to be here this morning? Yes. You're bright-eyed. You wanted to do this first thing in the morning, right? Yes. All the kids? Yes. Raise your hand if you're really excited about being here. And the reason I asked that is we were talking the other day at our holiday party, and everybody was talking about their first job. And the number one first job that people had of my age, unfortunately I'm as old as this university here, this college, was in fast food. I worked as a lifeguard. And the reason I worked as a lifeguard was that my mom had worked for the park department in Springfield, Massachusetts. And they had these jobs, in the park department, but you had to take a test, go to training, and then you had to get up, which was really bad, get up really early and sit in an auditorium and listen to people tell you about this job. And my mom woke my brother and I up and said, you guys are gonna go get a job. And you got to go to this training. But you had to get there like 7:30 in the morning. I was like, you really, for real? I said, shoot, I don't know if I want to do that. But she made me because, like your parents, she wanted to make sure I had a job for the summer, that I was kept busy. But what I didn't realize, and what we hope you realize, is that she was preparing me for life's experience. That she was preparing me for a career. Not as a lifeguard, but as a part of a community, a world community. That is why this is important for you this morning. That is why your parents want you here. You can find a job for the summer, but what we want you to do is to find a career, to find your passion, to find the things that will keep you moving. I didn't realize that at 16, but at 57 I do, and I thank her when I see her. So what we want you to do today is to ask questions. We want you to look at the experience that here. We want you to earn money, but we want you to have fun, and we want you to think about what it is you want to do with the rest of your time on this earth. What contribution will you make? Believe it or not, it's going to start this morning. As sleepy and tired as you may be. You look cute. I know I was looking cute years ago. I used to be a handsome guy. I had hair. It was black. I was thin. But that's what it is. And we want to thank you for being here, because this is going to be competitive. The one thing that we had, and I'll end with this, one advantage we had was competition was not as stiff as it is today. Not for the really important things that are going to make your life better. So you being here this morning just gave you a leg up on the people who are going to come late. Showing up is half the battle. As I tell the 3 young people who sometimes occupy my house. Showing up is half the battle. The other is being awake. The other is listening. And you're going to do all that. So ask questions. We're looking forward to having you help us out. We had some great summer interns, summer youth workers last year. You got great people doing this. This is a great combination of the government, school, the college. So with that, I'll step out your way. God bless.
We'd now like to welcome and introduce Ms. Galeros, the Vice Chair of the County Council. Thank you.
Good morning. I had the opportunity actually this morning to be with educators, our teachers actually over in Forestville with some of my colleagues, and we had at 8:30 in the morning we were woken up by the Duval Jazz Band, so I'm ready to go. And so if you're not quite ready to go this morning, just conjure up some good music to get you ready, because the county executive is right. It is a competitive environment, and you are here this morning, but every step along the way that you take over the next few months is going to be critical to getting into this first position. And last summer, I was honored in my office to have one of you with me. And it was a treasure to have an intern coming out of Parkdale High School and to work with him and to show him the ropes of what it meant to be a county council member. Today, though, I'm here not only on behalf of myself, but on behalf of my colleagues, my chair, Derek Leon Davis, who is as passionate about education as I am, and all of my colleagues, including our former chair, Mel Franklin. And it was actually a partnership with the county council last year that allowed this program to really grow. And last year we were able to have 800 youth go through our summer program. And that was an amazing accomplishment. And I hope all of you sitting in the room today will be part of that next cadre of 800 plus kids who are going to participate in this program this summer. Everyone's been reflecting about their first jobs. It seems like it's a life story moment today. So my first jobs were a cadre of a bunch of things. I was a camp counselor, my first job, and I think that was actually when I was 15 and a half. I'd have to really go back, look at those tax records, I think. But back then I was a camp counselor. I was later a waitress at Pizza Hut. I happened to, at one point in time, work in a bank. Every one of those experiences I took something from, and every one of those experiences put me, I think, on this path today. Whether it's the interaction you have to have with people, whether it's understanding the relationship with each other, the basic skills, as the county executive said, of showing up on time. And let me tell you, show up on time. You'll get a long way in life by showing up on time. All of those are skills that we learned early, and they enabled us to be incredibly successful in reaching the dreams that I know each one of you have in your heads today. And so we look forward to being part of helping you make that path in reaching your dreams. And please reach out to us and the county council and the county government. And please, if you have a friend who's not sitting in this room today with you, I want you to tweet, and I want you to make sure that they're here participating in this program, okay? So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ms. Glaros. And yes, the county did hire over 800 youth in county-funded positions, but we actually, through our partners, hired close to 3,000 youth throughout the county government. So, yes. Our next speaker is Mr. Ernest Moore, who's representing the Youth at Work Advisory Board. He's with the Men Aiming Higher. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning. All right, great. One, I want to thank you on behalf of Men Aiming Higher and our president, Darrell Barnes. I'm standing in his place today. He could not be here. One of the things that we have done over the last several years with Men Aiming Higher, we are a nonprofit within the community. And when we realized what the county was doing, exactly what the business was doing, reaching out to the individual organizations to say, how can we help? How can we reach the youth? Because as nonprofits, we have the touch points of touching your children, but we also have the understanding of what they need to succeed. The county is providing resources, Prince George's County government, Prince George's County College providing the tools. What we want to do is to ensure that we connect that with the individual youth, because we realize for everything that we do, the tools, resources that help those children succeed, we can make them and help them to reach their highest potential. But it's going to take all of us. Parents, we have to ensure that our children get up to at least get to school and get here in the program. Students, we need you. I'm sitting here looking at some of the students today who have actually gone through the program. We know how sharp you can be. We're asking for you to ask those questions. We're asking for you to ask for help. Most important is we ask for you just to be diligent for what you put your hands to the plow to do. So on the behalf of Men Aiming Higher, we welcome you here, but most important is that we just want to let you know that the whole community, Prince George's County, is here to help our individual children and community to succeed, but we're going to take all of us to make this happen. And I just want to thank the county exec, the community, all of you who are coming together want to make this happen. So on behalf again of Men Aim Higher, Mr. Darrell Barnes, we just want to thank you for being here.
Now I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Stephanie Maxwell, who's the Director of the Office of Human Resources Management.
Good morning. So you're awake. You know, we are always excited about moving this program forward and starting with this day to day. We were really excited last year when we saw the volume of parents and students that came out to hear about what we're doing with this program. We've taken this program a long way because what we realized is that, guess what? You are our succession plan. And as a human resources director, part of my job is career development, and everything that we're doing in this county in terms of the mission for the county involves you. We need you all. We're not going to be in these positions forever. We want to see young people like you raise up and learn and be trained and experienced to take the mantle. We care about this county. We're public servants. And the purpose of this is to bring together, to marry career and job opportunity with training and readiness. We need you all to be prepared. We want to give you some experiences, not just a job, just to collect money, but we need you all, and I heard my boss, Mr. Baker, say passion. What drives you? Where is your innate ability? What is your purpose in life? So we are part of that gateway and path through to help you identify who your core person is. Because you know what success is? When you find what you're wired for and you can live well doing it. And so we have a lot of people that are vested in this project with you all. We have partners. We've got some of our partners here in terms of private sector, nonprofit, other government organizations. The community college is a strategic partner. We need them involved in this. We've got a private vendor like Six Flags. You've got the head of Six Flags here who's part of this mission. When you hear about those numbers, we've got a huge stake with Six Flags in this. All right, you've got park and planning. You've got the Business Roundtable, Men Aiming Higher, Whiting Turner, who donated a nice significant amount of in-kind monies to place some of you students, nonprofits, everybody. So we're excited about what this is. You know, when we heard when we came on board with the Baker administration that this was part of our new mission, human capital development, this is the most exciting piece for some of us that have options in terms of when you decide whether you want to be a public or private servant. When you do this, this is why you do it. This is when you say, this is why I want to serve, because you want to see these outcomes. So we've got you here so you can get a preview of what this is all about, why this job readiness program is so important in terms of expectations, readiness, career development, and opportunities for you. And so that's what this is all about. It's for your parents to hear it, it's for you to hear it, and for you to come prepared. Because guess what? We're doing this for you all. Trust me. So we really appreciate you being here. You've got the county executive, you've got the CAO, you've got the elected officials, you've got the sheriff's office, you've got so many people here to support you. And so we want to thank you for that. And so now, as part of the agenda, you've heard a lot about welcomes and introductions. We're going to talk about the program. We're going to talk about the community college and how you register. We're going to give you an overview. We're going to give you an opportunity to ask questions. We're here to serve. So thank you for your support. Good morning, and you will have some of your Saturday back.
So good morning. My name is Cecilia Knox, and I'm the Director of Community Partnerships here at Prince George's Community College. And it's my pleasure to be one of the designers of the Youth at Work Summer Youth Enrichment Program training portion. Working with young people is indeed one of my passions. It started, and I'll talk, Mr. Baker, when I started college, I said, I want to work with juvenile delinquents. And we don't even use that term anymore. And so that'll give you a hint as to how long I've been hanging around. But it's been my pleasure to be a part of many great initiatives across the region and abroad. And so now I bring myself back to my home, which is Prince George's County, to be able to implement this program. And we are this is our third rotation of the job readiness program. But this is the thing about it. The thing that I just find absolutely beautiful is that it takes even me further than I've been in anything that I've done before. Because what we're doing now is we are actually creating a program not because good people got together and said, this is what we think young people want. We've designed a program based on what young people have told us they want and need. And then we mirrored that with what businesses are saying they want and need from a young workforce. And so it's important for us that, like Mr. Baker and Dr. Dukes and everyone before me has said, that not only do you go to work and get a check, but that this really jumpstarts a career for you. And so we're very thoughtful about that process. And then you can read, so I know that you'll see that what we're looking at is that there was some research done a few years ago that said that basically Prince George's County residents fare well. You all have heard that we're the highest grossing income for minorities, the county across the nation. But what really happens is that young people are the highest unemployed group in that population. So what we want to look at is because what's happening, as Mr. Baker said, many of us haven't even moved out of the positions we're in to give you space. And so, as Stephanie said, we're here to try to get you ready to take the space that we're going to leave. And so some of us are hoping that that could happen probably more quickly than our bank accounts will allow, but nevertheless, that's the progression in life. And so the sooner that you as young people are prepared to step in where you're needed, the easier it will be for those of us who've just been hanging on to move on. And so when we started to prepare this program, we really looked at what did the data tell us? Who is the population that needs this work done? Who needs to participate? And so we say young people between the ages of 15 and 19. Do we want to just say, okay, great, let's just create jobs, make sure they go? Because some of the other youth employment programs, and I am of the generation where Marion Barry was my one of my first employers. And so, but really I just signed up. I walked in one day, I signed my name on a list, I ended up in a job. And that's not this. So we want you to know that that's not this. This is where we now take a look at you to see where are your skills, your talents, and your greatest attributes so that we can try our best to match you to those work experiences that then will grow you into the person and the professional you desire to be. And then to take a more strategic process of looking at how now to just have you in the job readiness program being one portion and then moving you into some other opportunity. And I'm going to move to the next slide because that explains it. So the Youth at Work Summer Youth Enrichment Program has four parts to it, basically. There's the job training, the part where you say, okay, I'm coming here to be prepared, for someone to help me prepare myself to move along, to help me prepare myself and to practice the skills in a safe environment. You don't want to be at your first day on the job and someone saying, well, you didn't know not to wear high top sneakers and a skull cap? No, you want to be somewhere where we can work that thing with you through the process. So on your Saturdays when you're showing up for training, you will be dressed in business attire. And if you fail to have business attire, we have an answer for that as well. And so then we also look at now, if you do that the first year, the basic job training, then the next year you're looking at another layer, which we'll discover and talk about a little bit more, which is the career pathways. And career pathways are very strategic, topical areas of industry where we know there's a county need, and we also know we can place you this summer. And then once you are hired, then we bring you back into the classroom again to make sure you get even a more specific set of skills. So again, we're doing this for the third year. I just wanted to share with you, we've been successful. The first year we hit the ground running. Watch their heads go. And so we hit the ground running. When we finished the job readiness training in 2015, we realized we'd really made the improvements we needed to make in order to have the experience be what young people can appreciate and what the industry needs for them to walk into work ready to work. And so when we're looking at how many young people actually went into job readiness training, 842. Now that's below our target. So I'm saying to you, if you know you're here today, there's room. So don't be afraid to tell someone else. And out of that, 77% of those young people finished the assessment that we had planned for them. we recommended 714 for employment. And what our recommendation does is to put you in the queue for selection ahead of some others. And then what we did was now once they are hired, we brought 805 back into in-service training. That first week of work, you are actually at work, you're getting paid, but you're in the classroom here on campus. And then at the end, we had, through our partners, 2,917 youth were able to be employed. So you see by the numbers, getting employed, it's a plus to be in the training program, but it's not mandatory. And I do want to make that clear. So please apply for employment. Say it with me. I must apply for employment. All right, one time on your own. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you want to leave your mother's house one day. Now, let me hear it. Let's hear it one more time. Thank you. And I heard your parents saying that more. Your parents want you to leave. So the opportunities, what we try to do with the Youth at Work program is to make sure we don't remake mistakes we've made. And last year we had a few scheduling bumps. One we could not control, which was called snow. And so snow just threw a monkey wrench into the plan. And so what you're looking at now is a schedule where we've said, okay, let's just get some cohorts started January 23rd and February 6th, but then let's give ourselves a break over spring break and all of those dates that really had trouble, and make sure that we're not interfering with your spring break, and God knows you're not interfering with ours. And because the college also gets a spring break. And so what you're looking at are 4 opportunities labeled A, B, C, and D. And so parents, you'll be able to, and parents and young people and parents will be able to pull this and print this from the college's webpage for Youth at Work. And so then those that are coming back for career pathways, we are announcing those dates this week. So what we want from you, young people, this is not the program where you show up, hang out with us, and we go to McDonald's, and some teacher brings McDonald's and donuts into the classroom. You hang out there eating donuts and talking about your kids and your families and your dogs and your cats and all those kind of things, and then someone hands you a certificate. No, ma'am, no, sir. This is a program where we sincerely expect that at the end of the program, you are demonstrating through your own self-initiated behavior, not someone telling you, that you should come attired properly. You should be on time, that you can manage your behavior, get along with others, that you can operate in a team to produce a product, that you can be the best person that you are capable of being without someone telling you to do it. So if I were to ask parents in the room, raise your hands, how many of you are still telling these work-age young people 3 times to wash the dishes? Clean your room. Do your homework. Right? So now remember, work is not that way. More than once, right? Just begging and talking and pleading and asking. And then some of you now, I don't know if I want you to raise your hand, but then some of you actually go and do that nonsense yourself when they fail to do it. Do you want to raise your hands if you're here? Okay. Because you like a clean house and you just can't stand to go to bed with the dirty dishes in the sink. So even if they didn't do it, you do it. Work is not that way. Someone's going to explain your job duties to you once. You're going to be expected to show up and do what you've been told to do and asked to do and given the opportunity to do. And the second or third time someone has to ask you to do it, it will not be an ask, it'll be a walk to the door. So the classroom is the place where you get to practice that. And we try to do that with a smile. We give you that 8-session process so that you can then show us that you will do what you've been asked and given the opportunity to do without prodding. Because that's what we want to see that you can do. And then those of you who have been hired as our instructional staff, please raise your hand if you're in the room. We asked some of them to leave because we were running out of space. So we have an excellent instructional staff that are well prepared. We ask them to do the same process that we're asking of you. They've had 24 hours worth of training the same way we're asking you to be to participate in training. They are prepared to support you as you work out the kinks of those behavioral traits that you had as a child, because now you are a young adult. And those are the outcomes we are anticipating. So we talk about now business attire. This program mimics work. And as we move along, you'll hear some of us say, well, there's a slide somewhere that says parents are not allowed, right? Well, because parents aren't allowed in any workplace. My mother would love to be here today trying to coach me from the sideline on what to say and to make sure that I have my pronouns and verbs aligning. But maybe that's not going to happen because she's not here with me today. But nevertheless, I have to manage myself on my own. And so one of the things that we really do stress is your attire and your timely attendance. You should arrive in the training location dressed in business casual attire. If you do not have business casual attire, raise your hand if you're one of our navigating staff. So I see, okay, Nav, I see one. They're in the hall because I asked them to make seats for you. We have about, 30 some odd navigators who work in the schools when you're there. Let a navigator know. Come anyway, first of all, come anyway. Come anyway. Let one of our navigators know that you require assistance. And we not only have a wonderful clothes closet, some things with tags still on them that are beautiful, beautiful things, but we also have other ways to get you what you need. And don't be ashamed of that, please, because there are many people who are on our campus working who come into our clothes closet and leave for the day appropriately attired. So don't be afraid of that. And then we're not the kind of people who would give you something we wouldn't wear. We're not those people either. We like to treat you the way we want to be treated. So your attire matters. And so with that being said now, once you are on time, attired appropriately now, if you're not attired appropriately, what do? Okay, say it like you mean it. What do? Come anyway. Let me hear the young people say it. What do? Thank you. Okay, now you've heard enough from me. I'm going to move out of your way and introduce Miss Essie Willis Demby, and we still struggle with the Demby. She had the nerve to go and get married last year and cause us to have to remember a new name and to contend with the idea we have to share her now. And so Mrs. Demby will now come to the stage to begin to explain to you exactly what the job readiness training and the other opportunities are with Youth at Work.
Don't worry about it. I'm still confused about it myself. I would like to say good morning. And when the college asked me to come and work with them with the curriculum, and then I was like, well, okay, we're going to do real curriculum, not just a feel-good kind of assignment, and we say yes because I worked with them before. They know sometimes how I am, when you say competition and competing, I always tell people you're only competing with your former self. So this is what this whole program is about. And I want to talk about my first job at all because I had so many first jobs simultaneously. I don't ever remember not working and not having 3 or 4 jobs at a time. Or at any rate, we're moving on to talk about the growth of the program. The program at first started going from the job readiness training. And now we've advanced. We have 2 more phases that we're working with that, career pathways and alternative attendance option. To tell you some more about the job readiness training facts, look how many youth we've been working with in our program, 1,000 youth. And we're working with the youth between the ages of 15 and 19. This program is not what? Income-based. This program is only dealing with if you are what? A resident of Prince George's County. And you're between the age of 15 and 19. So we want you to tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that they know any children between that age to come into training. Because we're talking about real training that focuses on commitment, passion, and discipline. And we know that discipline means what? Performing at a higher level even when you don't feel like it. Because anyone can do anything when they feel like it, right? Well, like if we don't have it in music, we still have to have it inside because it's about talking about what internal changes. And now we have 7 locations. That means we've been listening. Northwestern High School, Parkdale High School, Central, Largo, Suitland, Crossland, and Surrattville. So do we have any excuses that, you see your school up there? And look at me, whose school is up there? Well, all right, there's no reason that you can't participate because we're making it easy for you to what? To gain access to the school. Then we're talking about time. All classes begin at 9. One thing about life, you can't leave home at 9 and be there at 9 in the same time zone. So if they said that we start what? At 9. Then we end what? Promptly, parents at what? 1, because it's not what? Daycare, not child care. We'll talk about 1, we talk about promptness. Then we'll focus on basic reading proficiency required. And we know that we have students who we might have to provide some services with, and we have those in place. Then online assignments are available through Blackboard. That's one thing about this program we bring in. We integrate it. It's a hybrid program with face-to-face learning, also online. Let's look at some facts. We realize that you don't need to have a lot of people in your classroom, and we want our instructors and navigators to be able to process it very well and to enable you to learn. So therefore, our ratio is what? 18-1. Isn't that desirable? Now, I use the word delicious a lot. Isn't that what? Delicious? Then we talk about the navigators are available to support 2-1. Every classroom has what? 1 navigator. Isn't that excellent? And then we talk about how our grading course that we look in align with the PIN. We have in our pass, we have in our area of incomplete, we have in our area of non-grade. We don't have it where a person has a fail or an F because we know that if you are making some changes, that is an improvement because we have to approach you where you are. We're trying to get you what? Ready. 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 This is the key word. Disruptive behaviors are not what? Tolerated. It's not what? Tolerated. Because we know if you can do wrong, you can do right. And we're giving you the tools to enable you to do what? Right. Parents are not allowed in the training environment. And we're going to tell you, but you do have a role in order to ensure the success of the program for your child. Isn't that wonderful? Having a role. And then we talk again about the disability supports is available upon request. Let us know in a timely way that your child needs it, and we have auxiliary services that are available. We want everyone to succeed and everyone to be involved in this program. And we know that everyone is not the same, but we know that we can provide the accommodations to ensure you to be whole. This is what we're looking for in terms of work. Now, job readiness training focus on bring your A game to where? To work. But not only that, the homes get an opportunity to engage in what? The A game, because you'll be able to measure that at home. And our A games, we call them our 7 foundational behaviors. Look at appearance. Look at attitude, appreciation, accountability. Don't you all hear that aloud? Are you accountable? That means that people can count on you. You've made an agreement. Attendance, not only just the part of just showing up, because you know sometimes people show up and don't show up for anything. Their body's here, but their mind's where? I know we know about that. Oh, I know parents, we know about that. So we say show up. We want you to show up ready to perform. And acceptance. When you tell an employer that, okay, yes, I want to be hired, and they're telling you what the rules and regulations are, you already decided to go according to what? The program. They didn't want you to come in there and make, break, or bend. They want to see, hey, you agreed. So now this with the accountability also supports that. And ambition. Then you're going to see an idea what we have put together in a reality form about what career pathways. And then now looking at those and they're separate, but we decided to make it more authentic. And what we did was to bridge that into topics where we know that the community requires, business leaders require, and employers require. Remember, everything we do here is evidence-based. Nothing is done arbitrarily. We realize that this is what the people want because this is what they said they want. They've written that they wanted, and they said they want introduction, the students to know introduction to business and work. What does that mean? All of our classes, our very first module talks about introduction to business and work, and we integrate the appropriate behavior for that topic. Then we have understanding customer service. Wow, how many times you've gone someplace and you said it was what? Poor customer service, right? And remember, every industry has customer service. It's just not a retail industry. You can call Verizon, or you can call another agency, and the county, right? And you go and say, well, oh my God, what about customer service? And we know that people are highly engaged in customer service to the point that they know how they want to be treated. And this is what we're talking about. Discovering and documenting professional talents, interests, and skills. Telling people about yourself without anyone prompting you. You let them know. And not only that, written document. What does your resume say about you? What does your cover letter say about you? Remember, those nonverbals speak what? Volume. You know how it goes, say what you do speaks so loudly I can't hear what you say? That's that piece right there. And then you have an opportunity on our fourth module is exploring employment policies. And this is really an exciting one because then now you get a chance to see what acceptance is about and what the employer expects of you. Career pathway training facts. Remember, we talk about the second phase that we have here of our program. Meaning, if you have been in our program before and you've successfully completed and met the stated outcomes, you don't have to come back to what? The basic job readiness training. You now can go to what? The career pathways. That's when that passion. What do you want to do? We still asking ourselves sometimes now, what do I want to do when I grow up? How many people asked ourselves that this morning, right? Then we talk about for the career pathway training facts, we can take 500 youth, ages 15 to 19, and it's going to be held right here at Prince George's Community College. And all classes begin at what time? And end at what time? And what's the requirement? Read to leave. Okay. Then we start looking at the job readiness training for 2016. We have what's called 16 hours of face-to-face. That's where the young person will go to the appropriate designated site every other Saturday, and they will receive the training from 9 until 1. Then, that off Saturday, they will go online for 2 hours and meet with their instructor to follow up on some assignments or activities. Then that gives a total of 24 hours training. Where appropriate, students must complete, and we also have an assessment after the completion of the training, because you can go no place these days and people can't want to know that you learned what you said that you learned was all was intended to be learned, right? Assessments. So we let them know, we prepare them for that because we know that's part of what? Life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. Mm-hmm.
I'm just interrupting because we have some persons who need seats for various reasons. So if you're a young man or someone who's willing to give up your seat for a person who needs a seat, we would appreciate it. Thank you. But don't leave the building.
Security. Well, isn't this wonderful? Let's give the young people a big hand. Isn't this just delightful? Yes, they are serious about their careers.
Don't leave the room.
Okay. And remember, we said there are qualifiers for every phase that we have here. So for the criteria for the career pathway opportunity, person has to have completed 75% of the job training and earned a certificate, or verified successful completion of the SYEP job placement, or verifiable employment of more than 200 hours between June 1, 2015 and August 31, 2015. So that means that when you say, well, no, I've completed the job readiness, we have what? Evidence. And remember, everything here is evidence driven. So then now we have the criteria, so you can qualify for our career pathways, which is another what piece? Delicious piece. Take a look at the career pathways. Woo! Now, parents, it's not for you. I know you're gonna get excited, but it's only for what? The young people. Look at they would be engaged in. Healthcare, technology, hospitality, animal services, child care, graphic design, human services, public safety, clerical, library services, and skilled trades safety. These are occupational skills that are being offered under the Youth at Work program. And isn't that exciting? That is so exciting. And as Ms. Knox mentioned earlier, these were chosen based on young people's passion and based on availability for employment here in the county. Isn't that wonderful? Mm-hmm. Exciting. Then we said the career pathway options. Remember, there's always some in-classroom training and some demonstration done on the outside. From 12 to 16 hours to the face-to-face, up to 4 hours online, and it's also up to 24 hours of training. And another thing that is so wonderful, give you a backdrop about the job readiness training, all of the activities not in the classroom. They get an opportunity to go and visit some of these sites. You're going to hear your young people talking about things that's what? Mystery shopping and dependability survey, because they'll get a chance to experience what? Customer service. And one thing we'll learn about young people, they are hard on young people, aren't they? Whether they do the same thing themselves, when they have an opportunity to go and evaluate, you should see the scores. We're taking a look at what we call successful completion of the job readiness and the career pathways. We are encouraging 100% attendance in the face-to-face classes. What happens when you are newly hired? Some places you have to work there for 90 days before you can miss a day. And we are just asking you to show up, 24 hours and complete all assignments, both face-to-face and online, on time. This is what we're looking for, because that goes back to what? Attendance, because time matters. Demonstrate acceptable behavior in the training environment, wherever you are. We should see you should be what? Brand new, because it's what? Internalized. It's not just said that something's going to be on the top of your head and you learned about it and you heard about it. No, you're going to what? Demonstrate it every day, because we want you to know that, as we said earlier, we're competing with your former self. Whether it's now, it's probably going to be a strain for you to not pull up your pants, because remember, if you pull up your pants, it'll teach you how to walk. Right, isn't it? Because I think some young people haven't used it in their muscles for walking. And we'll talk again about you successful complete the required post-assessment, whatever is the one that is required for your particular occupational skill. And we have something that is really fantastic. It's called the alternative attendance option. We realize that there are young people who have obligations and they are unable to attend our job readiness training. But we want everyone to be included. But we also need to know who they are. Not coming in and say, oh, well, I won't be there that Saturday. No, it's always what? Evidence, proof, right? Well, they said, trust but do what? Verify. persons who are attending college or boarding school out of the county, persons participating in pre-scheduled, structured cultural, educational, or sports activity, persons who are employed and required to work weekends. So we're going to measure that based on a portfolio or a successful completion of an approved program. And we do have our approved programs listed. And this is all we're asking the person. You're going to verify that where you are actually implements the 7 behaviors. Because remember, it's about change. And those behaviors should not be just limited to what? A classroom. There's behaviors that should be circulated throughout your life and throughout the planet, those behaviors. So when we start talking about what happens in Bring Your A Game to Work curriculum, we want to make sure the program that you've assigned for and we've agreed that you can participate in, we were looking for those behaviors. And also talking about which one gives you challenging to you. What did you do to overcome that and master that behavior? Because that's the change. When they come and realize the necessity of the change, and they buy into it, it becomes more meaningful, and then the change occurs. Because we know that change occurs when staying the same becomes more painful and or costly than what? The change. So we realize it's based on the competitions out here that our young people cannot what? Stay the same. Then we have the resources that are available. We're going to make sure that the program is being monitored by a responsible person at the site. Our leadership team is going to be the one to evaluate it. And there is a big point right there. This portfolio is not for parents. It's for the young people, not for parents. We know expression of love is based also on what? Growth. This is what we're looking for. Then we'll also mention what our measurement's going to be. And then this is what we're asking for you to do in the portfolio. It is not a replacement for an assessment. It is only there because you already have something planned that interferes with your participation in the job readiness training. So you will have activities and assignments that must be completed. As we said before, approved programs, Youth Career Connect participants, Hillside Work Scholarship Connection, the Training Source Youth Leadership Program, and Latin American Youth Center. Those are the programs that we have determined through evaluation that they mimic what we're offering. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Those are some of the exceptions in terms of our programs. As we said that we have been here now, this is going into our 3rd year. And it gets better and better. And as Ms. Knox mentioned, we listen, we take notes, and we realize that the best people who can tell you about their experience in the program are a participant. So we have a young lady, Janice Limskin, who's going to tell her about her experience in the youth leadership program known right here at the college. Thank you. And here's.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Janice Lipscomb, and I am 17 years old, and I'm a senior at Frederick Douglass High School, and I'll be graduating in May. Okay. I am here to share with you what I learned being a participant at the Youth at Work program. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to be able to participate in the Youth at Work program. It was a really good learning experience. We met every other Saturday to attend classes that would teach you how to dress, write resumes, and what to do and what not to do at an interview, and a lot of work ethics. One of the things that you will be learning in the program are the 7 A's. Appearance, attitude, appreciation, accountability, attendance, acceptance, and ambition. I want to highlight 3 things that stood out to me during my process. Appearance. Ladies, wear their skirts at a professional length and very light makeup. Men, no pants hanging below the waist and well-groomed. Accountability, complete your tasks in a timely manner and report to work on time. And lastly, ambition, always make yourself available. During the Saturday classes, there were times I would come 15 minutes early, and I also stayed 15 to 20 minutes late to help with the instructors. And the staff noticed my ambition. which led them to offer me a position at PG College for a summer hire in the main office. I really believe that you would benefit from this program. Are there any questions that anybody has? I guess not. Thank you.
Let's give another one for Janice. Wasn't that great? Our next message is to parents and guardians. We have listened and we have decided and we have put together ways in which that parents can assist their youth in the successful completion of the Youth at Work program. This is what we would like for you to do, because you have a role. Remember we said parents have a role? Remember that one? Okay, here it is. 100% attendance to the face-to-face and the online session. Could you do that? Should I have you to raise your hand, your right hand? Okay, this is what you plan to do. Ensure that your young people are prepared to fully participate in the face-to-face and online sessions. Help to ensure that their youth are appropriately attired. Help to ensure that the youth arrive at the learning environment no later than 15 minutes prior to the start of the face-to-face sessions. Help to ensure that their youth complete all face-to-face, online, and external assignments and activities. Help to ensure that their youth understand and appreciate the value. Let's go over that again. Understand and appreciate the value of the Youth at Work program. And I want to add another one there. Make sure that your young people get sleep. Go to sleep. Because you need to know, and they need to know, how many hours they need to sleep at night so they can be energized and ready for the program. Could we count on you? Yeah, y'all sound like the young people. Could we count on you? That's right. Because we need you to help us to help you, because we're talking about an extension of partnership and community and making them better, because we know that the very first team starts at home, doesn't it? Okay, so now we start at home and ensuring that it happened, and you giving them on to us, and we're going to ensure that it happened, and every place they go, we're making sure that it happens. So therefore, we will be having a more changed and improved young people who will not care about the external competition, because they would be ready. This is what we're talking about. At this point, I would like to bring on a parent. Her name is Angela Brown, and she'll be able to tell us her experience as a parent of a youth who was in our program. Angela Brown.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to say that I am proud to live in a community that takes the time to invest in our youth in a positive, constructive way. The men and women in this program take the time to mentor and educate our youth. They're setting aside dollars, yes, to pour into their lives, but there's so much information that they're pouring into their lives as well. And it really has been such a benefit to see my son participate in the program. He was in the program last summer, and at the time he was 16 years old, and we watched him grow from a 16-year-old teen to a 16-year-old young man by participating in this program. Now, Ms. Jalise gave a great presentation on what were the benefits for her as a participant. I can share with you that, yes, your children are going to get all of those wonderful experiences, so I'm not going to repeat that part. But parents will also get a benefit for this program. All of the things that you have poured into your children, and I know I'm talking to parents who have poured into their children, because you are here on a rainy day, a Saturday, in the morning, you're taking your time to learn more about this program. You brought your youth here because you recognize that this is a great opportunity and you wanted some more information, you had some questions you wanted to address. That's a parent who is pouring into their child's life. But now you have a team of people who are also going to come alongside you, and everything that you have been telling them, now they're giving you the why to your child. You no longer have to keep explaining why you want them to do something, because now they are applying everything that you have been teaching them. And even those things that they wanted to ignore, it comes out in the job, and they start seeing for themselves, this is why my parents have told me to do X, Y, Z. So that has been the greatest benefit as a parent, to have someone come alongside you and reinforce. As many times as it takes, and as many people who can do that, makes the parenting job so much easier to do. It's not easy, but it gets easier the more people in our community who support what we're trying to do, who come alongside us. That is such a benefit, and I'm grateful that we have such a program in our community. So let's thank our public servants and officials, leaders. Now, every program has challenges. Nothing's perfect, but this one is as close as I have seen to lots of youth development programs. It was hard as a parent not to get more involved, just out of curiosity, not criticism. I wanted to sit in on some of those sessions just to hear what was being taught, but it made the dinner hour a lot more interesting. We had to rely on our son coming to the table and share with us what he had learned from the day, and even those challenges that he came across, which gave us an excellent opportunity to teach in a different way, because we weren't there. We didn't see exactly what happened. But just as we would encourage a friend or relative through a challenge without knowing all the details, we had to learn to do that the same way. And we all let our children do different things, but this is yet another environment where we get to place our children, and you get to see how they will implement all that you have taught them. So
Ms. Brown, were you allowed to come into a classroom? You can say no.
No. I had to think about that for a minute. I said, no.
Did he let you in the building even?
Well, into the area to drop off, but that was as far as we got. So we were told, drop them off. You are not coming into the work area. And that was a little challenging because we wanted to see the space. It's like, okay, we know this is a school. We know what a school looks like. Can we just see where they're going to be? No. So it really was, this is their job. You drop them off at the door, and it is just like you're dropping them off for work. And the same thing does happen once they start working. So it was a wonderful experience. It was a letting go experience in another degree before college, so that was good too. And so, like I said, I really could not think of anything negative to say except for we could not go past the yellow line. So thank you very much.
Isn't that great? All right. Well, I just wanted to thank you for bringing your family here and coming and then understanding how wonderful our program is. And I'm so excited about the career pathway. Who was excited about the pathway? I've been trying to enroll, but they said no. No, the career pathway, because we know we're just not trying to enable our young people to get a job, which it's a J-O-B, teach them how to just juggle old bills. We talk about what? How to become a career. So then now at this point, I would like to bring back Valerie to speak.
Okay, good morning again. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Valerie Farrar. I'm the manager, one of the managers in the Office of Human Resources Management, and I also manage the Youth at Work program for the county. I want to thank you all for attending today. We've heard a lot of great stories, and especially from the student, the youth, and the parent. That was very well done. Thank you so much for sharing. I just want to reemphasize, last year, the Youth at Work program was able to hire close to 3,000 youth in the program, which has been, we have steadily been increasing our number of youth that we are able to place. And we couldn't do that without the help of our public and private nonprofit organizations. We have, on the public sector, our county government side, we have like the Office of the Sheriff, We've had the Office of Information Technology, Department of Permittings, Inspections, and Enforcement, our police department. Those are just some of our county agencies. Our private sector, Six Flags, they're a phenomenal partner. They placed over 1,400 youth, and they want youth that have gone through the job readiness training. So this training not only assists with placement if you want to work for county government, but for the private sector as well. And we want to give a special thanks to our nonprofit organizations such as Akaki Foundation, our local churches, Shabbat Ministry, Hope, and there's been a host of other sites. We've had over 60 some odd sites to accept youth this summer. It's been great. So I just want to briefly give you some information about the employment process, because after all of the training, the goal is to get a job. And use my clicker. The other way. Okay. As Ms. Knox made us repeat repetitively, we must apply for employment. Going through the job training does not mean you apply for a job. It means you went through training for a job, and that's it. Because the job training that you will be participating in is not just for the youth at work positions, but maybe you want to work at McDonald's. Maybe you want to work at Staples or some other business. You can take the skills that you've learned through the job readiness training to those businesses. So if you're interested in working through the Youth at Work program, you must apply for employment, okay? In order to be eligible, you must be between the ages of 15 and 19 years old and be a resident of Prince George's County. We don't have income guidelines or anything else that determines whether or not you're eligible for a position. However, participating and successfully completing the job readiness training allows you to have a preference in the program. Now, we've extended our job training this year. Yes, job readiness training through the community college is our biggest training site, and we're asking you now, if you have not registered, to do so. But if you are participating in job training through your school, through what we call an approved training agency, such as Hillside Youth Connections, or through the training source, those training opportunities will apply, but we must see a certificate of completion for those as well. Okay, so the hiring preference is given to you to complete one of the job readiness trainings, and our employment application period for county-funded positions will begin February 22nd and end March 25th. So you have a month to apply for a position. Our application process is online, and so you can't come into the office and ask for an application. Oh, sorry, I'm not following the slides. You can't come into the office and request an application because everything is done online. You would go to the county's website, which is www.princegorgescountymd.gov, and go to the Youth at Work site. You can get all the information about positions, whether it's county-funded positions, links to Six Flags or other partners such as Joe's Youth Movement, any Youth Emporium, any job that is a partnering, that has any agency that is a partner with the Youth at Work program, their job links will be. Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, another wonderful employer, and you can apply through them with us or directly with them as well. Okay, but in order to be considered for any job, you must apply. Okay. Let's see. If you have questions during the application process, we have a team of individuals who are here to help. I do want to introduce some of the staff. I would like to first introduce my colleague, manager of our Employee Services Division, who works with the youth once they're hired with the county, Mr. Virgil Walker. And then for all of the placements and selections on the recruitment side and the selection side, I have the assistant manager with me, Lisa Torrance. Our program coordinator, Ms. Nina McNeil. Many of you may have spoken with her. And then our frontline soldier, Monique Beach. If you call the office, she would probably be the one that you speak with, Ms. Beach. Okay. Again, information is already posted. The application is not available yet. It will be available February. Oh, there's our partner from YCC, Yolanda Tully there. Hello. Who's another wonderful partner with us. Our information is all on the website. Again, the application will not be available until February 22nd. So that is the first day you can apply. Be on the website. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact our office. We have a table out front with information. You can stop by the table after today's session. Okay? Thank you.
So now we're going to go into what I call frequently asked questions. Valerie pointed out to me yesterday, these aren't questions, these are statements. So, and I know, and so what happens from time to time is my military background jumps out, and I don't have time for nonsense, and so we just want to jump to the end here. And so this is the thing, if the question is, must you register for the job training and apply for work? The answer is yes. I must apply for work and register for job training. So one more, let's say that so I know you heard me. Yes, the two things that you must do. And then number two, will you receive preference if you successfully finish the job training program? And the answer is yes, you'll receive preference if you've successfully finished our program. And you can find out what successful completion is on the college's webpage. Just search for Youth at Work and you'll get there. And everything we presented here is there as well. And then it says, yes, 100% attendance is required. And as Mrs. Denby said, when you get to a new job, often you are not allowed to miss a day for 90 days in a probationary status. And what we're asking is that you begin to demonstrate your ability to do that. Now, there are some exceptions, and when I get back to the schedule, I'll show you those exceptions. When we're learning from what we're acting on what we learned last year. And so now this is a biggie. The email address that is used to register the young person for training should belong to the young person, not the parent. The email address that is used to register the young person and all of the other information should belong to the young person, not the parent. Parents should not be registering their young person. Our registration system is open basically 24 hours a day. We're in the office until about 7 p.m. to answer questions. It's a fairly easy process, fairly easy. There's some bumps in the road for those of you who've taken other courses here or done other things. Sometimes that causes a conflict and we have to work that out for you. But again, we want to hear from the young person, not the parents, because this is not a process for the parents. And even when, as Ms. Brown said, there are things that we have not done well or correct, we'd rather work that out with the young person, because that's a skill that gets developed in this process. We're looking to develop all of the skills that young people need to enter work and be successful there. And overcoming challenges is one of them. Challenging the process is one of them. That's not your role anymore. So yes, the email address must belong to the young person. The other thing is cell phones. We do not permit cell phone use in the classroom. And even when they say, but it's my mother calling, we say, well, she should know you are here. She should know. How many of you are also military or veterans? Am I by myself? There's other veterans in the room. Is there foolishness in the ranks? No, there's no foolishness in the ranks because you must be able to follow, produce, perform, and deliver when asked. And you cannot take time out to do what you want to do. One of the first things I learned in basic training was how to walk. Can you believe that? I go all the way to San Antonio, Texas, in the summer heat, in the August, and they're going to teach me to walk. But I needed to learn to walk because I was not going to be walking alone. I was going to be walking in and between 60 other women. And there were going to be times I was going to be integrated. My platoon was going to be integrated with someone else's platoon. So we all had to walk the same way. And so that's what we're building here with the Youth at Work program. And it sounds rigorous. I'm a lot of fun when it's not me just giving the rules. People don't believe that, but it's true. But this is a rule-driven society, and therefore our training is also rule-driven because we want you to succeed. I also wanted to acknowledge Ms. Corrine Brody, who's here from Hillside, and she is a great partner. We've mentioned her program several times this morning, and so I wanted to mention that she is here with us, and thank you, Corrine, for coming out on Saturday morning. So when we talk about registration, and registration has a few steps, and I wanted to just show you, and I pray this works. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And this looks like one of the times it's not going to work. But basically, if you go to this website, well, who did that? Who did that? If you go to pgcc.edu, go, Youth at Work, you will find everything you need there to register. There's a set of instructions that are 10 simple steps, and then there are more lengthy process that even has screenshots in case you get lost and don't know how to find your way back home. Registration is open. The first classes start January 23rd. I suggest you get registered as soon as possible because we do have a capacity in the classes. Do not wait until the end to register. So now, once you are, the steps to enrollment for classes are create an OWLINK account. OWLINK establishes you as a student here at Prince George's Community College. It also begins your college non-credit transcript. It begins your non-credit transcript, which is why we're very particular about the grades we give. Pass, incomplete, or no grade given. A person who does not successfully complete our program gets a no grade given. But do know that there are times and programs where people will want evidence, programs managers will want evidence of your successful completion of other projects. And the college's registrar will explain what a no grade given really means, even though we've not given you an F. So finish what you start if you can. And if you cannot, communicate with us what that's about so we can get you an appropriate solution. So you will create an OWLINK account, and you need to remember the password and username and your user ID. That's yours. It's how we know who you are. And you'll need it time after time after time after time after time. You'll need it on your first day of class. You will activate your PGCC email account. Each one of you will get an email account that is your name, cknox1275@pgcc.students.edu. That's the only email address we will use to communicate with you. We will not communicate with you at prettygirl@hotmail.com. We won't send anything there. So please know that when you are assigned your email address, you will use that email address. One of your first assignments will be to create a personal, professional email address. That's one of your first assignments. And then you will log into Blackboard. Now, how many of you have used Blackboard before and are familiar? Just a few of you. So now, is there a mystery to Blackboard? Is it pretty easy? Okay, it is, oh my goodness, it's so simple. So look, oh wait a minute, go back. Did anyone read that orange dot? What does it say? Not parents. Not parents. If you didn't get it done in 1974, this is not your experience. So now, Blackboard in 4 simple steps. Blackboard in 4 simple steps. You go first to the college's webpage, the college's main webpage. And just at the top banner, there's the word Blackboard. You click there. You end up here where it's saying, what's your PGCC username? Not your PGCPS username, your PGCC username and the password you were given through OwlLink. That's the second step. The third thing, it's going to bring you to a list of the courses in which you are registered. You will click on the course in which you are registered. This is the third step. Then it will open up a page where everything you need is right there. There's a menu bar, there's a welcome that says, welcome, here are the things we want you to know, here's where you get started. You click through those sites just that way, Blackboard in 4 simple steps. Now, last year we had a lot of murmuring about young people, I couldn't get on Blackboard, I just couldn't do it. And then when Mrs. Denby called the group of students into the multi-purpose room, separated the room from those who could not legitimately get on because there was a technical error, and those who had not tried but pretended that it didn't work. So now, we found out there were about 6 who had legitimate technical issues and about 30 who had not even tried but were pretending they could not get their online work done because Blackboard just did not work for them. We're going to catch you being silly. So back to the schedule. Another thing we've learned, on our schedule, you will see that there are blue dates that have been highlighted blue and yellow. One of the things that we uncovered last year was our schedule ran smack into not only snow, but ACT and SAT dates. This year, we are giving you permission to miss class for SAT and ACT. But you will bring documentation showing us that you were actually in SAT and ACT testing. Not that you were scheduled, but you were there. Because this is a practice that our employers expect. You miss work because you say you did X, Y, and Z, bring us the documentation. Everything that we do mimics work. So there are 2 things you must do. We're going to say them together aloud one more time. Register. What are you registering for? What are you applying for? Ooh, that was lovely. That made getting up on Saturday morning worth it. Now we have entered our Q&A portion of the morning. This is the portion where we all take questions. If you would not mind, we would like for you to come to the mic that are at the end of the stairs. This is the time to do that. We have a full schedule ourselves today, and so once the session has ended, we will also be unavailable to answer your questions in this venue. Although our phone number is available to you, 301-546-1580. It's on the flyer that you received this morning to answer any questions you might have. So please, this is the moment for you to ask questions. Yes. Good morning.
A lot of parents weren't going to be able to make it today to the open house.
Sure.
Will this presentation be available online?
Everything we've presented here is available on the college's webpage.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. I'm in the University of Maryland's Upward Bound Pre-College program that also requires us to meet every Saturday unless otherwise noted. Will that also be play in effect?
You would want to do the alternative attendance option.
Okay.
Okay, because we have not approved Upward Bound as an approved program alternative because Upward Bound is more academically focused than it is job focused. So what we would want you to do is to do the alternative attendance option.
And And may I ask, how does that work?
So what will happen is that you will contact our office, or you can let one of the ladies know at the desk that you would like to receive a packet, and the packet has the instructions for what we require, which is basically a paper, a minimum of 2 pages. I think we came up with a minimum of 2 pages where you will explain how you have gained the same skills that the young people who are in our training are gaining. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck to you in your Upward Bound program and your journey to college.
So the program starts at 15. When does the student have to be 15?
By June.
For employment?
Okay.
Okay, we did say that students, for employment purposes, you have to be ages of 15 to 19 years old, and that is of July 5th. Because of the way, at the time that our employment date starts, because work will start July 5th, that they must be 15. Okay. Now,
Or still 19.
Or still 19. If you turn 19 during employment, that's okay, but you can't turn 20 before July 5th.
Good morning. I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Is it to be assumed that each student will have their own personal computer?
Well, great question. So no, it is not assumed that every student has their own personal computer. However, their Blackboard is available through smartphones. If that smartphone is not, there's actually a Blackboard app. If you do not have a personal computer or a smartphone with a Blackboard app, we open labs here on campus every Saturday that we are in operation in one of the schools. A lab is open here on campus. So your young person is in class one Saturday, not in class on another Saturday. They may come here to our campus to use the computers in our lab, and a navigator will be here to assist them.
And they could probably also go to their closest public library.
And the public libraries are also available.
Okay. In addition, what is your definition of casual business attire? Because that varies.
So there are ground rules that the young people will receive on the very first day. Typically, no sneakers, no jeans. What else? Khakis are appropriate. Polo shirt is appropriate. A skirt and a top is appropriate. No transparent blouses. No leggings.
Do they have to wear a shirt with a collar, as in a polo shirt or a dress shirt?
If it could be a crew neck sweater. But it should not be an undershirt or pajama pants. Nothing below the waist. So we really, and I want to really say, we've never had a problem with this. Young people are typically peer-driven, and what their peers are doing, they will do. And the environment does not permit for the other way young people like to look. Yes.
I haven't seen a time of the training listed anywhere. What time is it on the Saturdays?
9 to 1. Now, when we say 9, the instructors begin speaking at 9 a.m., which means we usually open the doors to the school somewhere around 8:45. So 9 to 1. Mm-hmm. All right. Mrs. Denby says, no hair bonnets. We are people against bonnets. You roll with it, fuzz and all. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Since you all want the emails to be to our youth, if the youth have forgotten a password or email and they've originally signed up for Blackboard, how are they to provide a new email address that they are now using?
Well, if you registered last year, or if you're already in the Owling system, you do not need to create another account. What you will do is to contact the help desk at 301-546-0637, and someone at our help desk will help you identify your username and password. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Last year, there was a wonderful career awareness event for
Yes.
safety that we had here. And we worked with Dr. Maxwell and all of our public safety officials.
Okay.
So do you think we may be able to work together again to put that on?
I think that we have that on the table.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm. And that brings me to the other topic. On the third face-to-face meeting, you can go. On the third face-to-face meeting, our business leaders come to interface with the young people through a panel discussion. Sure.
Right. Also, as Chief Odom mentioned, we did have, through their partnership and the office, Councilmember Patterson's office, we all coordinated that Public Safety Awareness Day, which was phenomenal. So any youth that was possibly interested or had questions or maybe pursuing a career in one of our public safety agencies, which would include police, fire, sheriffs, corrections, or Homeland Security, they were able to come for a day to spend here at the community college with representatives of those agencies and learn more about careers in those respective departments. And this year, yes, definitely we want to do that again. We found that to be a great benefit to the youth, and we're even looking to hopefully expand that to other career paths, so maybe health and human services, hospitality, and we're still bouncing off a couple of ideas, IT or economic development, as some of the other career days that we may have as part of the Youth at Work program. Thank you for asking.
Thank you, Valerie. Yes.
Oh, I want to know what other job groups are you? Is this affiliated with? Like you said, Six Flags. I want to know the other.
So, Park, I'll let Valerie answer.
Okay, Six Flags is one of our premier employers for youth, as they hire more youth than any other company in Prince George's County. But also Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission is probably number 2 as far as being youth focused, and they have a variety of activities or positions such as camp counselors, conservation corps counselors. The Prince George's County Public School System, they're going to be hiring, as well as we're going to be placing youth there as well. Then there's some nonprofits that we partner with, and I don't have the list of them all because we're still working for it for this year. But as they commit to hiring independently of the Youth at Work, we will post those on the website. Okay.
Also, for the culinary aspect, what restaurants do you help us with?
Well, like Six Flags has positions that may focus on the culinary arts, but then that was one of the, we didn't do the culinary? Okay. If culinary arts is one of your passions, if you apply for our program, we will probably try to find a work site that may be able to focus on that. We don't have a job for every career path, but Six Flags may be that site for you, as they do have restaurants there. Okay.
Are you a first or second year? I thought so. I thought I recognized you. So in the career pathways, I would suggest that you do the hospitality training. Okay.
Hi, I completed the training program successfully last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, do I have to go through that again in order to get a job this year?
No, you do not. But you are invited to do one of the career pathways training if you choose.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Mhm. But you must do what in order to get the job? Yes. Any other questions? No other questions? Oh, okay, Ms. Brown.
After students participate in career pathways, when you participate in career pathways, is there a way to transition to full-time employment in that track? Is that what the goal is?
Well, we would hope that as we build the program, we're starting to look at other opportunities and engaging employers in a way that will allow young people to transition more cleanly into full-time employment, but that's not a guarantee that we offer at this time. Okay? They will receive employment for the summer through the preference. Good morning.
You said that we were going to get a PGCC email. So after we register, is that going to be like sent to the email that we put?
Yes, the first email that you use as a registering student, then what Prince George's Community College do will send an email to that address letting you know what your username, your password, instructions for activating your email account, everything will be sent to your Gmail or Yahoo account. But then after that, the college ceases communicating with you through that other account. Okay?
My other question was, during the presentation, you said like students have to register and apply for employment.
Yes.
Are we going to apply while we're doing the job training?
You will apply for employment as soon as that application is open on February the 22nd. The moment it's up, you will wake up.
Well, give us a chance to get open.
Oh, true. That's an excellent point, Ms. Maxwell. Let me just say that for the record, too. You do not need to wait to complete the training to apply for work. Thank you. Please don't. No, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. No, you do not need to complete. We take care of everything on the back end. You do not need to complete the training before you apply. Okay?
Well, don't
Thank
wait.
you.
Especially because some of the two of the cohorts are not even starting until after the application deadline, the application process closes. So as soon as it opens, whether you've registered for job readiness training or not, and you're interested, apply. Okay.
Give them the date again so they can write
February 22nd, it opens. March 25th, it closes. Yep. For county funded positions.
Good morning. I don't know if you already answered this question, but say you you complete the training this year, but you don't apply for the job this year, would you have to do the training if you wanted to apply next year, like next summer?
No, you don't have to repeat the training.
Okay.
No, but you still would have to then do what next year if you want a job?
Apply for the job.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm one of the organizations that hired one of the youths last summer.
Okay.
Thanks for mentioning us. My question is, when we completed the job program with our summer youth, we had to experience the fact that we let her go with no job, no employment. So she was back in the same situation. Are there any programs where they could continue on after the summer? Are there any funds where maybe we could have her back at a part-time, or that person back part-time? And that was her second time participating, so she had no other opportunity.
Right. Well, we hope that the job readiness training has prepared her for applying at other places. But Six Flags is one of our partners. They continue to hire even after our program because they employ at least through the end of October, the beginning of November. But after that, at this point, the county doesn't have another
continuous fund.
program.
So ours is for summer employment. We're hoping, though, with the impression that some of the youth make, that the employer can find a way to continue them in employment. We expose the opportunity. I know.
We're a
because
nonprofit.
I got it, and we're government. So yeah. So we're trying to, I guess, ignite the relationship.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But we'll keep a vision, maybe one day.
All right, thank you.
And I wanted to add to that the college has a career center, a career job center on the second floor of Marlborough Hall that is open to the public. And if a young person contacts our office and says that they have an interest in receiving assistance through our career center, then they can come to our office and we'll walk them over and get them connected. So we're not dropping the ball. If a young person shows up in our office, we'll continue to handle whatever their requests are. Okay.
Hello, just a quick question. So you said we're supposed to be dressed up for the training?
Yes.
On January 23rd, right?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Oh, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
And I think I missed this part, but the registration for the career pathways will open this week?
Yes.
And we just go back to the PGCC website?
Yes.
Or back to our link?
Yes.
Okay, and it'll give us the little code that we need?
That's right. In fact, some of the codes, Ms. Denise, you gave, some of the codes are there now. Did I put them on the webpage? Okay, they should be there this week.
Okay.
I know I put them somewhere, but okay.
Okay,
They should
thank you.
definitely be there this week.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, is that it? You all have all of your questions answered? You ready for lunch now?
Yes.
Okay, and it's to enjoy the rest of your, the remainder of your yeah, lunch on your own.
Thank you.
All righty.
Trying to come back again this summer, but he came home with some interesting stories. He said, "Mom, you know,